Welcome to the Fine Print, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Caleb Teskey, and today I am joined by Arnar Olgeirsson, VP and co-founder of Green Vault Systems out in Washington. Arnar, thank you for being here today with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun, man. I went to Vegas and I decided to interview the first people I met, and that was you guys. And what an incredible system I walked up on there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before we get started, I usually ask my guests if they would share a 5 minute life story with me, if that's something you wouldn't mind doing.
5 minute life story. Okay.
Yeah.
I immigrated from Iceland with my parents in 1979, so I'm dating myself a little bit. Um, my dad came over here, followed my grandparents, and my dad was a king crab fisherman in Alaska. And if you've seen Deadliest Catch,
Yeah, I sure have.
I grew up in the fishing industry, spent a lot of time in Alaska. Decided the fishing lifestyle wasn't for me, but I went into engineering and still stayed within the confines of the fish industry, only developing processing and weighing and packaging solutions for the seafood industry, which was a lot of fun and kind of cut my teeth there. I spent about 20 years in that, along with processing and packaging solutions for meat, like red meat, steak production, things like that, and poultry. Um, took that knowledge back in 2015. The Washington state market, along with uh, the Colorado market, was opening up, and I just happened to have some friends that were some of the first licensed producers here in Washington State,
Oh, cool.
and had the opportunity to see one of the first commercial uh, grow slash processing packaging facilities, in the U.S., probably the world, and saw a very distinct need for. First thing I noticed was an army of people hand weighing, eighths and grams on little scales and little Dixie cups. With yeah, it was and being an automation engineer, and with my background, I just couldn't accept that was going to be the case, for myriad of reasons, not only the labor aspect of it, but the just the product quality and handling the product and things like that. So my business colleague and I, we set out to develop a solution for weighing out flour for retail packaging.
So you're kind of repurposing some of your other skills in the fish market, in the meat market, into a new industry here.
That's right. That's right. What better industry than the cannabis industry? I mean,
I mean,
I don't hate my job.
it seems like a perfect crossover, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and it's been awesome. Obviously, when we started this endeavor, and we incorporated in early 2016, there were only two recreational markets. That was Colorado and Washington. So we were banking on, some growth in the industry, and the trend to go for more states to legalize, and countries, and luckily that's been the case. And now we have systems in operation now in 30 states plus Canada, and we just got our EU GMP pharma certification, so we're moving on into the European market. And
Yeah, don't jump ahead. That's later. I got that on the notes.
okay.
um, Before we go too much further, I wanted to thank Vrinya also. She said she does marketing and social media, as well as Lise.
Yes, Lisa's our sales director.
Yeah, I spoke with Lise a couple of times, and she was super nice and also helping me set this up. So I wanted to give them a couple of shout outs here.
Cool. Yeah, they're awesome.
Cool. Now, so tell me, you said you were doing this similar thing with fish and for meat. Had you already built sort of like a prototype, or were you using someone else's gear, or how did that go?
So the technology itself for net weight packaging has existed for a long time. In fact, when we did our patent research, there's net weight weighing solutions patents that go back to the 1800s. So it's really combination weighing. The technology behind it, the theory behind it, has existed a long time. The difference here is we're working with a very unique product, right? We're talking a dried flour
Right.
with that's covered in these trichomes.
Right. Right.
Once it's dry, they want to break off,
Right.
right?
Trichomes aren't going to break off of your steak.
Right, exactly. And the other thing is you're buying steak by the pound, where you're buying, marijuana by the gram. So we had to work around the product itself and be very gentle. And so we developed the air cush method of moving it. It's short, gentle puffs of air to move the product rather than vibration and mechanical means which degrade the product. So that was the first thing, and then like I said, the need for weighing accuracy. We had to be able to weigh to 100th of a gram in order to ensure that we didn't overpack or underpack, for grams and eighths and quarters and all that.
And
So
how much
there's
do you? What kind of tolerance do you need for like a fish or a steak? Are you talking ounces or pounds or like where?
yeah, your tolerance is going to be, in ounces, or a tenth of an ounce is a
Sure.
typical weighing resolution. And so, yeah, those were the challenges in the product and the market that we overcame in our early stages of development. So, and then we took our knowledge of the electronics and the automation and applied that to the product specific aspect.
Cool. Now, how many people do you have on your team?
We have currently just over 20 people.
And what kind of range of jobs are you doing? Do you have like an electrical engineer and a mechanical engineer and all that stuff?
Yeah, so we have mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, and we manufacture everything here in the U.S. We source.
No shit.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
rare.
yeah, it is. Yeah, in order to be able to ensure that quality and precision that's required, and the standards that we set, we source all of our stainless locally here in Seattle, and we engineer, manufacture, build, and service everything in house. So we have a team of technicians and that work both in manufacturing and are out in the field installing and training on our systems.
Hmm. I imagine you could probably save some money if you bought stuff from China.
Yeah, maybe in the short term. Yeah, that might be a short term money savings, but we believe long term, for the success of our customers and producing the highest quality product that made in the USA is always best.
Yeah. Does the Chinese materials like degrade faster, or is there certain performance issues with them?
Well, my experience with Chinese made industrial equipment is you can't ensure the quality, both the material quality. You could be getting. We use um, uh, food grade stainless and polymers that are designed for industrial applications. We use 304 stainless, PETG, materials that you just can't ensure that product quality from products that are made in China. And then you also have the lag time. If you're gonna, there's other companies that source weighing equipment from China, and their delivery times are 6 months because it takes that long to get it across the Pacific, and where we can turn things around and produce in 8 to 12 and deliver in 8 to 12 weeks.
Nice. And probably that helps a lot with like replacement parts and accessories, I would guess.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a big part of it. You know, if you're sourcing something from China, they might change components and not let you know, and you don't know until it gets here. And now you don't have replacement parts. Where people ask us, hey, do you keep replacement parts in inventory? Well, because we build everything here in-house, we can't produce equipment unless we have all the parts in stock. So the answer is 100% yes at all times.
Well, that's awesome. Boy, you just don't hear that much these days, man. Everybody I talk to is getting stuff from China.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's one way of doing it for sure. But like I said, our focus is always on quality of both of our products and retaining the quality of the flour, you know, for the consumer.
Cool. Now, um, whoever was working your booth, I'm sorry, there's so many names I don't remember them all, but whoever was working your station there in Vegas gave us a beautiful uh, overview of the system and brought us up the stairs to the landing platform. Like, will you kind of just walk us through like from when you drop the product in to when it comes out into a package and that whole process?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the core of all of our systems, people ask us, hey, do you do gummies? Do you do, you know, jelly beans? Do you do this and that? We are 100% focused on weighing and packaging of flour. You know, that is our that's all we do, and we're really good at it, right? Better be good at one thing and do it really well
Yeah,
than be a
do one
jack
thing
of
and
all
do it well.
trades.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So at the heart of that is our precision batcher. And so I'll start there. I'll start at the heart of the systems, and then I'll work our way out from there. The precision batcher works on, like I said, multi head or not, sorry, combination weighing. Um, the combination weighing works. There's 8 scales. Each one of those scales is weighing to a precision of 0.01 gram. And it weighs out the individual buds. Now, those individual buds are then transferred by the use of short puffs of air into holding cells. Each scale has 2 holding cells. There's 16 individual weights at any given time, and the computer is set by the operator to weigh to a certain target range. On an eighth, that could be is typically 3.52 to 3.58, somewhere in that range, because we never want to be under that 3.5.
That's nice of you. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what the computer's doing is it's looking at all those random bud weights, and they all vary a little bit, all weighed to 100th of a gram, and looking for a combination mathematically to equal that range, right? So let's say it finds 4 buds that equal 3.56, right in that range, right? It'll then release those 4 buds simultaneously down to a check weigher, which then double checks the combined weight. At that point, it verifies that it's within tolerance, within range, and then releases into a jar or bag, can, whatever our customer is packaging into.
So they can use a number of different options of whatever packaging they want.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. Now we expand it from there to further automation. We have automatic jar filling, capping, labeling, all inline production, you know, full end-to-end systems. We also have our new precision in-feed, which automatically feeds the buds, again, using air. So we never sacrifice product quality for automation. That's just one of our philosophies. We believe in, you know, the consumer getting the highest quality product, you know, and really retaining that product quality and of course accuracy. So, but you can go to our website, greenvaultsystems.com, and you could see, you know, videos and more examples of these systems.
And it also looks like at the end you have sort of like a touch screen where you can adjust the calibrate. Like adjust how much weight you want put in the jars, like just with the push of a button.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. It's a touch screen computer. It 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 gives you the full control. It's very user friendly, graphic interface, 22-inch screen. So it's really easy to operate, and so you can program your different recipes. You might have a you know a premium 8 line where you can actually control not only the weight, we can also control the bud count. You can program it so if you want a star nug, like a big bud in there, and then fill in with the rest with small, like a
Oh,
Euro nug type. So
cool.
it's designed to to emulate hand packaging just at a higher accuracy and even less product degradation because there's less handling.
I was gonna say I have a note here that says you guys ran 3 keys through the machine and got less than a gram of keef.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow,
Yeah, there's almost zero for all effective purposes. There's zero trichome loss.
wow, and so that must make cleaning pretty easy.
It does. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
How often do you have
and
to clean
changeover.
those? Oh, sorry to cut you off.
Oh, yeah, and changeover. That's another aspect in this industry that other industries don't see. You're changing over from Bubba Kush. You might run 5 pounds of Bubba Kush, and then you're switching over to I don't know, Blue Dream or whatever the next strain is, and you want to make sure and clean in between. That process is changeover is less than 5 minutes.
Wow.
So
So you could take out all the hoppers that you fill and then just put new ones on and keep going.
there's a blower on the machine that's already regulated and filtered air. So they blow it top to bottom. It'll collect whatever half a gram of keef that's in the machine. You collect that and you're running your next lot of product.
And your blowers, you said you have a filtration system on the air you're even using.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. So because the air is coming into contact with the product, we have to filter that, and we filter it down to through a 10 micron filter to ensure that no contaminants ever come in contact with the product.
Oh, sick. So let me ask you this: how long does it take from the time you say I wanted to package 10 pounds? How long from the time I like start filling it up till it hits the jar and is fully packaged?
You're up and running in, yeah, less than 5 minutes setup time, and you're going to run those 10 pounds. You're looking at, if you're running eights, you're going to produce about 800 to 1,000 eighths an hour. So yeah, that 10 pounds, you're running through that in about 80 minutes, somewhere in that
Wow.
range. So you can package, we have customers that'll package up to 50 pounds in a shift
Wow.
of eights.
That's incredible. I have another note here that one of your engineers used to work for NASA.
Uh,
Denny Smith?
no, he didn't work for NASA, but he is a rocket scientist, so to speak. He happens to hold the O class height record for experimental rocketry.
Oh, cool. I went to WPI in Worcester, and they have a Goddard Hall, which is like a tribute to Robert Goddard, who is the father of modern rocketry.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really
He went there. Yeah, I'm into
nice.
that. Maybe I should talk to Denny.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I got an engineering degree too. I wasn't very good at it, but I did go and I did graduate with honors.
oh yeah, nice, nice. What type of engineering?
Physics.
Physics.
It was a combo degree of physics and general engineering, but it wasn't for me, man. I don't fit in well in academia. Everything is so rigid, and I don't like that.
Yeah, yeah, understandable.
I got through though. Now I do want to ask you. Oh, what was this other thing? something about good manufacturing processes in terms of GMP pharmaceutical. Whoever I spoke with on the phone mentioned this, and that was something I really had never heard before. So I was hoping you could shine some light on that.
Right. Yeah. No, here in the US, given the fact that of its federal classification, there really isn't any federal oversight here, right? So the FDA isn't involved, which is good.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
yeah, in a lot of aspects. But the European market they're probably 5 to 6 years behind the U.S. market here, but Europe is starting to open up, and the majority of the EU states are uh, are classified as medicinal. Spain, Portugal, Germany is coming online now. Greece, they're 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 mainly medical, and being that they're medical, there's standard for food, for product safety, and sanitary design, material composition. All that stuff is regulated under what's called EU GMP pharma standards, which are the highest standards for human consumption in the world. It's the same standards that companies like Pfizer and Moderna, the evil empires of the world, have to follow. And so we knew we designed everything coming from food manufacturing. We were used to producing everything to FDA standards anyway,
Right. So,
and we
yeah,
knew that eventually it would go federal, and we would have to comply by FDA. So we just did that from the onset.
you just got out in front of that.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll never be a headache, right? But we had to jump through a lot of hoops, mainly bureaucracy and paperwork, to achieve these GMP pharma standards. And we just finished that exercise. That was a lot of fun.
Are there lower grade standards for people that aren't using like a pharmaceutical grade product?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's different classification. There's novelty foods. There's food applications. GMP pharma, especially EU GMP pharma. Canada is also GMP pharma, but it's a different, somewhat different, not as stringent as the EU GMP pharma. And for us, we're excited about that, because if we meet the highest standard, that means we can meet every standard in the world.
Right. And that means if it goes federally legal tomorrow, your customers aren't shit out of luck because they bought some gear that is no longer compliant.
That's right. That's right. They won't even skip a beat.
That was some nice forward thinking there.
Well, we were banking on this industry. We're banking on being here a long time, so we were banking on the industry, moving in that direction.
And I've noticed, like, with product development, you said product development was kind of your thing here. And I've noticed, like, I feel like in Europe, maybe before you put a product on the market, you sort of have to prove that it's safe. Whereas in the United States, you could put a product on the market and then someone else seems like they have to prove that it's dangerous before they'll pull it off the market. It seems like the burden of proof is shifted in
Yeah.
Europe as opposed to the US. Is that accurate?
Yeah, yeah, that's 100% accurate.
Hmm.
And it's a little bit Wild West, which hey, we're in a cowboy industry a little bit.
Yeah.
A groundbreaking. We're the people in the industry. It's a cool place to be, because we're all pioneers. The book is being written as we speak, right? In this new industry.
It sure is. And it's fascinating to watch it play out,
Yeah,
Um,
it's a
uh,
cool thing to be a part of.
yeah, and earlier, so now we could come back to this thing. I was told on the phone that you guys have sold some gear to the Greek government to do R&D, which I thought was fascinating. And
Yeah,
I was hoping you would just tell us that story.
yeah, that's kind of wild, right? So
That's awesome. Yeah.
so we went over our first. We sent a precision batcher over to Holland, or the Netherlands. Sorry, to be accurate, to the Netherlands here back in June, and attended a conference there, or an exposition there called Green Tech, and it was it's a large agricultural show, but for the first time this year, they had a section for cannabis, which is exciting because that means things are moving forward over there.
Because that's agricultural. Yeah. And that's,
Right. Yeah. And the Netherlands, which most people don't realize, just legalized marijuana this year. People think, oh, Amsterdam. No,
yeah.
it's been legal forever. No, it hasn't.
Yeah.
It was decriminalized a long time ago, and the government has just kind of turned their head, right? But now
As they
it's
should.
actually, yeah, absolutely, right. Now it's legal in Amsterdam, and so we brought a machine over there, and we met this group of GMP pharma consulting firm out of Greece, and group of high level PhD engineers, electrical engineers, product specialists, and things like that, and they work with the Greek government in a research facility in, oh man, I can't pronounce it, but it's north of, it's north of Athens. That's all I know. But yeah, so we have a machine at a government research facility in Greece, which is awesome. And of course, it's EU GMP Pharma certified as well.
That's that's super fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't turn my eyes away from that. No, I was just like, man, you're the
Yeah.
first people I've talked to that have any kind of involvement with a government program anywhere.
Yeah.
Except for like lobbyists who talk to the government, but
Right.
that you guys are the first that has gear in government hands.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it is the whole purpose of this research facility and what they're doing is they're building the groundwork for legalization in Greece. They're putting the framework together, and so that's a really cool thing to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. I
And
bet.
if you would ask me 5 years ago or 10 years ago if I thought that would be reality, I would have said no. But here we are.
Hey, life comes at you fast, man. And now I gotta say, I asked, when I was leaving MJ BizCon, I think I stopped in and said hi to your crew, and I asked them, I said, how long does it take you to break this down? Because I watched my friend, I had a buddy out there who had a booth. He does digital marketing. It was really just a table. It was nothing fancy. It was a table, some information, and it took him a couple of hours to break that down. And you guys have this incredibly sophisticated machine set up. And they said it came in like a NASCAR pit crew and broke that down in 6 hours, which
Yeah.
seemed amazing to me.
Yeah. No, that's by design of the equipment. We build everything very modular, so it's easy to assemble, which makes it easy to disassemble. And of course, we transport these systems all over the country, soon to be all over the world. So we have to make them so that they're easy to transport, right? And yeah, so yeah, and the crew. I mean, we just have an amazing group of people here working for us. We're really lucky to have the people we have.
Yeah, you definitely had a good crew. I actually stopped in there every day because when I would walk in, it was still right there. It's the first booth on the left. So, I met them the first day, and then the next couple of days, I would just stop in and say hi on my way to try to get to the back of the room, which seemed endless out there.
Right. Right.
That's the biggest room I've ever been in. It was outrageous.
Yeah, and there were two of them.
Yeah, there were two of them, and
For cannabis, right?
yeah. And I have arthritis, and I'm just hobbling along. God damn, can I get to the end? Anyway, what was the other one? I have a note here as a quote that says, this business is not for the faint of heart. Was that you?
I don't think that was me, but I would say the same. There's this convention of thought, in the general public that, oh, this is this green rush. Everybody's getting rich in the weed space. Well, that's just not the reality. It's a new industry, so you really got to know what you're doing, and you can't just come in. I mean, I read somewhere that the failure rate of the 2-year failure rate of businesses in the cannabis space is double that of the general commerce.
In Vermont, in the first year of the hemp market, 90% of businesses folded.
Wow. Yeah. No, it's it's like you said, not for the faint of heart, and not you got to be willing to put the work in if
Yeah.
you're going to
Although it
survive.
must be nice. It must be nice to just kind of be tangential to this industry because you guys probably are not subject to any of the same regulations, right?
No, no, but our customers are, so we have to follow those, very closely. We look out for our customers first, and the regulations they have to follow. So,
Sure, sure.
you're right. You're right. We don't have to follow the traceability, although we build that into the software and things like that for traceability and things like that. But we also have to make sure that we are able to produce in a compliant way in, as of right now, 30 states and Canada, right? So
What about energy consumption? I know a lot of states are starting to take that into account in terms of, sustainability efforts. Is that something you guys have had to keep in mind?
yeah, not so much, but just by design, our systems run off 110 volts. It's just you plug it into the wall, and typical system will have 5 to 10 amp draw, so we're it's very low consumption.
Nice. Do you guys? I talked to an equipment manufacturer yesterday who was also out there that do solvent recovery, and on their
Yeah,
website they had some consulting and some financing options. Is that anything that you guys offer?
absolutely. Yeah. The first thing we do is the first step when we come in contact with the potential client is the consulting piece, right? We look at I always like to tell our clients, hey, tell me what you want to produce, because we're producing jars and bags, that are going to be in the retail space. Show us what you want it to look like on the shelf in the retail space, and we'll engineer the system backwards. And then we'll work with them on their space constraints, put together the layout that works for them. Process flow is a big deal, so people aren't falling over each other,
Yeah.
operators when they're working, and where is it in relation to the vault, right, where you're keeping your product. So we really work through that process flow, and that consulting piece. We just that's part of the service you get with Green Vault.
So you can change the layout sort of like the conveyor system so it fits into different spaces.
Absolutely. Yeah. We build everything, design everything to be very modular,
Yeah.
like Legos. So we can fit it into just about any space.
Awesome.
Not every facility is the same, right? In fact, no two facilities are the same. So we design the equipment around that to be able to, meet just about any constraints.
And if I recall, yeah, there's an automatic one and like a manual fed system.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the same machine. We just have, like I said, add-on pieces, modular design. Where if you want to automate your feeding, you add the auto feed. If you want to automate your jar filling, we add that into the line, and we do all the integration. It's all designed to work, harmoniously together, and uh, yeah, and then that's another thing, that being exclusive to the industry and not being involved in other industries, we're very focused on our customer needs, and we know all these details. And this is a growing industry, and our customers are not starting out as, an RJ Reynolds. They're starting out as, a mom and pop. So
Yeah.
they start out with the precision batcher, and then as their needs grow and as they grow and their production grows, we grow with them, and they add on these other pieces: auto capping, auto labeling,
Ah.
sealing. We
Well,
have,
hopefully they don't finish as an RJ Reynolds either,
yeah, right.
or Philip Morris.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But super cool, Arnar. That I'm out of questions. That was the end of my list. Once again,
Okay.
I'd like to thank Brynja and Lee's for setting this up. And I always leave the last word for my guests. So if there's anything we missed that you would like to throw in, or any shameless plugs or shout outs you'd like to throw, or where people can find your gear, this is all you right now. Thanks for being here, man.
All right. Hey, before I jump into that, Brynja is here. I want to, since you're giving her a shout out, I want to give her an opportunity to say hi.
Thank you.
This is great. He gives a good interview, Brynja.
Right, it's pretty good.
Yeah, this is my beautiful daughter. She does all of our social media and a lot of our marketing activity, and she's just amazing. I'm really proud of her.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's a wonderful business, and you can find us at Green Vault Systems on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn. Our website is really wonderful to check out, and we're just here for everybody. So if you even just have questions or anything, you can contact any one of us, and we're here for everybody. So.
I love a family business too. I see a lot of that. I see a lot of that in cannabis, and I really love it.
Right? Yeah,
we love it too.
It's wonderful.
Couldn't be happier. And Caleb, thank you so much.
Yeah, this was wonderful.
For this opportunity, and
absolutely
big shout out to you, and stay warm over there in Vermont.
Yeah, and I'd love to check in maybe in a year and see how this project in Greece is going.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be fantastic.
Please stay in touch.
Yeah.
Great to talk to you guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank
Cheers.
you so much.